HighBridge, a division of Recorded Books, presents The Mother-Daughter Relationship Makeover: 4 Steps to Bring Back the Love by Lindsey Glass and Lindsey Glass. Read by Lindsey Glass. To mothers and daughters everywhere who need a message of hope. I think the hardest thing for a mother is to make it possible for a child to be independent and at the same time let the child know how much you love her, how much you want to take care of her, and yet how truly essential it is for her to fly on her own. Madeleine Albright. Acknowledgements. As journalists, writing about our own experiences and those of so many others we have met over the years, we're grateful for the sharing of stories and wisdom that have inspired us to write this book of self-exploration. It's easy to blame those closest to us for our hurts and sorrows. It's an act of great courage and bravery to dig deeper and find compassion and healing for whatever went wrong. We know that positivity can bring the change you long to see. Back in 2011, Tion Dayton was the first to show us how psychodrama can change perspective. We are forever grateful to Tion for the session we filmed with her for The Secret World of Recovery that brought us to tears and began our quest for better communication and understanding. So many wonderful friends and family have made great contributions to our lives, and we're grateful to everyone we have known and loved. Out of respect for their privacy, we have chosen to focus this story only on ourselves and our relationship. Thanks to our HCI editor, Christine Bellaris, for her belief in our mission and work, and for her thoughtful editing throughout the production process. Thanks to Larissa Hennock for the beautiful book cover and book design. We are so grateful to our publishing family members, Alex Glass and Sarah Pells, for their encouragement and guidance through the development and proposal process of this book. You guys are the best. Special thanks to Dr. Deborah Sweet for being a mentor and participator. A huge thank you to all the women who have been friends and supporters, too many to name, to both of us as we traveled this exciting journey. Introduction. For all the exasperated, frustrated, raging, helpless, hopeless mothers and daughters out there, we have news for you. Whatever miseries you may be experiencing with your mother or daughter right now, the conflicts are not only about your daughter or mother. In fact, all mother-daughter conflicts originate from other people who have influenced you and her. Wherever you are on your mother-daughter journey, your present conflicts develop from generational, familial, and cultural experiences that affect your every thought and reaction. Don't rule out other family members and the dynamic they bring to the table. It may come as a big surprise that the things you say and do are likely the opinions and actions repeated by those who raised you and those who raised them. Traumas from generations ago, such as migrations, wars, famine, persecution, genocide, economic depression, mental illnesses, and unbearable tragedies that you have never even heard about, may be ghosts of the past intruding on your relationships and feelings now. That's what we realized when we started exploring the evolution of our own conflicts and fights. How we recovered from overwhelming pain and anger is the story you will hear. Our relationship makeover became one of the greatest accomplishments of our life. We know mothers and daughters everywhere will want to share this book for aha moments that can change the way they view themselves and improve their lives. We will make you laugh and we will make you cry at our story of heartbreak and redemption. We're going to show you how following the 4 steps in this book can shift negative feelings about your relationship forever. Now, it's normal to have a wide variety of mother-daughter conflicts that change over time. So we also want to make sure we're clear about what's normal fighting and the kind of behavior that crosses lines to toxic, abusive, and manipulative relationships for which you may need professional help to heal. As we take you through the 4 steps of the relationship makeover, we'll give you prompts along the way to think about your own mother, grandmother, and family members. The ways your loved ones influenced you will reveal the patterns that are being repeated now with your mom or daughter. How do you sound when you talk to each other? What is your tone and what do you want to happen with your interactions and conversations? Can you listen? Or do you interrupt to reinforce your point of view? With new insights, you may find better ways to communicate, to stop the cycle of conflict, and to finally find your happy ending, as we did. Take that last sentence with a grain of salt. Not all relationships can or should be mended. Family members can be unsupportive, toxic, or worse. But even if you can't and shouldn't get back together again, you can heal if you understand what happened. Step 1. Self-discovery. You're about to embark on step 1 of your relationship makeover journey. This section will be enlightening. Here are 5 chapters that explore who you and your mom or daughter really are. We begin this journey of self-discovery with writing. You're going to tell the story of your life through writing prompts. Why are we giving you writing prompts when you think you already know what happened and have a strong point of view? We know that writing your answers to our questions will inspire you to think about new possibilities, and this may open your mind and heart to finding peace in unexpected ways. It did for us. Chapter 1 is about writing. Writing is the universal tool for sharing our histories, telling stories, educating, entertaining, and yes, healing. Writing is the tool that has helped us find understanding about ourselves and each other. Writing has been the outlet for saying what can't be said out loud, relieving ourselves of toxic secrets, finding self-awareness about our own behavior, and so much more. Writing is key in recovery for realizing what it was like, what happened, and how to move forward in healthier ways. In this first chapter, we share what writing means to us and invite you to think about what writing has meant to you, both in the past and how it can help you now. In Chapter 2, we explore our own background and stories, and we invite you to do the same. Who are you? Where do you come from? What is your history and the history of the mothers and daughters who came before you in your family? What has your life been like, and what do you know about your mother? The past reveals how we're behaving in the present and can give us the insight to make changes when necessary. In Chapter 3, we delve into personality, mood, and emotional styles. This will show you how we're different and the same and may reveal why you get along or live in conflict. When it comes to your mother-daughter relationship, what are your personality and emotional styles, and how well do they mesh? We'll give some examples of personality styles, tell you about ours, and invite you to add this component to your life story. We'll talk about mood habits here too. This chapter may also help you identify how you are with others and your characteristics that make relationships easy or difficult. In Chapter 4, we'll move from personality styles to communication styles. Here, we'll look at the way you communicate and how it is developed by your culture and family. What does comfort sound like? Culture plays a part. In Africa, for example, being called fat is a compliment. In other places, it's the opposite. Words destroy self-esteem or bolster it. Communication affects who you are and the ways your mom-daughter relationship may be supportive or not so much. We'll give some examples of how you may speak to each other and ask you to think about the words that changed your life that you'll never forget. In Chapter 5, we will explore the secrets we keep and the lies we tell. You know when you hide the truth. You may be protecting someone else or yourself. Lying is something else. All teens lie to their moms, and plenty of moms we know do their share of shading or hiding the truth about so many things. We'll explore the impact lying and hiding has on the mother-daughter relationship and how it damages trust and confidence. We'll ask you to think about your own experiences with secrets and lies. Chapter 1. For Leslie and Lindsey, writing can cure almost anything. Many forms of self-expression can provide relief from emotional distress and pain, but none can create a portal to solutions, true healing, and the potential to restore relationships quite like writing. We live in a world of behavioral rules, family rules, cultural rules, and relationship rules. Each rule can profoundly hurt us in unexpected ways. Loyalty and fear can teach us never to speak our true minds or speak from the heart, because telling can get us in trouble. There is political censorship, and there is censorship we learn from family experience. Self-censorship shuts us up and shuts us down, often before we have a chance to know who we really are. We develop verbal behavioral habits that disguise our feelings or blast them out in ways that don't serve us well. Blurting negative feelings out loud to those we love does terrible damage every day. We all have trauma around that. The words mothers and daughters let loose in anger and criticism can be deeply hurtful and destructive. Casual cruelty and outright verbal attacks are not easily forgotten or forgiven. Words and feelings written on the page, however, can transform and enlighten. Writing lets you say, "I'm mad at Mom for holding me back. My aunt is an idiot who drinks too much. Granny doesn't know what she's talking about. You've been mean and hurt me." You've said it, but not in a way that can come back to haunt you. It's okay to tell your journal or diary or notebook what you really think. A journal doesn't talk back or tell you that your feelings are stupid or wrong. In fact, a journal can be the path to self-discovery, a way to see how wrong you've been about something. Angry words you write one day can seem ridiculous, or at least not so important, when you read them weeks or months later. Just letting the feelings loose on the page is enough for you to feel better in the moment. Your words don't have to strike a living target to serve their purpose. Writing also opens the door to positive memories and events that can bring back joy you may have forgotten or think you've lost forever. In writing this book, I've recovered memories from the very first years of my life. Telling yourself both the good and bad sides to your story can also create a more realistic truth that you can inhabit more comfortably. For me, writing has always been a way to figure out what was going on, to translate the world whenever it made no sense. Writing something down can change a day, a mood, a relationship, indeed one's whole life for the better. Writing can be the kiss to the hurt that makes everything feel much better. The philosopher Descartes wrote in 1637, "I think, therefore I am." That one firm and absolute certainty became the basic center, the philosophical proof of our existence. Thinking may be the first step to being oneself, but sharing thoughts through words and images is the first step to being together. We don't need to ask Hallmark if it works. Writing gave me a way to hear myself think and know that my thoughts had value. Working through 1,000 issues on the page has been the magical tool that has kept me alive during all the ups and downs of life, and there have been many. My life has been messy but wonderful. No one, no matter how perfect someone's life may seem from the outside, is spared from pain and anguish. There have been many times in my life when writing felt like my only friend. When loss and defections of family members, death of much-loved animals, career struggles, discord, financial challenges, war, and difficult years for my country and the people I love the most. When all these things seemed too much to bear, the simple act of writing it down gave my feelings meaning. It helped me find fresh air to breathe and a door in the wall that seemed to shut me in. Of all the times writing has come to my rescue, it served the best when it became the tool my daughter Lindsey and I used to restore the precious relationship we had lost in the turbulent teen years. Like so many mothers and daughters, Lindsey and I had unintentionally shut each other out and felt the anguish of not being heard or loved enough. After 15 years of serial battling when it seemed nothing could restore the love and closeness we both wanted, writing gave us the gift of understanding, acceptance, and redemption. So to mothers and daughters who feel the perfect love, mothers and teens who think things will never get better, mothers and daughters who cannot stay in the same room for very long or agree on much of anything, to everyone who is a mother or daughter, I dedicate our story to you. With a sense of humor, a grain of salt, and an open heart, you too can feel better. Lindsey shares what writing means to her. I used to hate writing, which is funny because now I love it. But I used to hate most things at first. Then, when something was forced upon me, I realized I liked it. Auto-hate, I guess. Or contempt prior to investigation, as they say in recovery circles. Definitely one of my character defects. Writing was what my mom did. That was her thing, and I didn't want to be like her. Yes, we laugh about that now that I've turned into a modified version of her. Writing was something I resented for taking my mom away from me, and I found it unpleasant as an activity. It takes a certain kind of focus that was too challenging for me back in the day. It was hard enough for me to sit still when I was young and in my early years of addiction recovery, but to sit still and focus my thoughts was asking a lot. When I was a teen, I was not as into books as the other members of my family. They would sit around the dinner table discussing what they were reading, and I'd tune out, remembering scenes from movies or reading a comic book. I'm more visual, and I had no patience when I was a teen and young adult. As a child, I loved reading, but the moment I graduated to TV and movies, I didn't look back for a while. In my free time, I preferred physical activities, being outside, or going to the movies. My mom would do nothing but read a new book in a series over a 3-day weekend, while I had to exercise, shop, clean, and do a multitude of other activities. As the years have passed, I've learned to be a reader and writer. Forced into book clubs, endless self-help, and research, I followed a path that led me back into reading. I couldn't be happier as I developed a whole new love of reading and books in recent years. Writing, on the other hand, now that's a different story. When my life hit an especially dark patch in my early 20s, something completely unexpected came to my rescue: writing. Suddenly, a love and devotion to the craft that I never thought possible was ignited. Over the next 24 years, writing has evolved into a passion and job. First, it slowly became a part of my recovery life and the tool to help mend my broken relationships with my mom and so many others. This activity that seemed extremely boring suddenly became a trusted resource. It gave me clarity and relief about what had happened in my life and the person I had become. Writing gave me a new form of self-expression. Not everybody grows up able to identify and express their feelings in appropriate or healthy ways. What's going on? Why do I feel so bad? Am I crazy? These were questions for which I had no answers, no words to help me function well in my environment. In the old days, when life got tough, I would shut down because I didn't even know what feelings I was having. I knew I was uncomfortable and unhappy, and I acted out in various ways to relieve my misery. I didn't understand the core problems or how to fix them. Writing showed me who I wanted to be and how to reconnect with what I'd lost. It helped me learn to understand what I was feeling and ways to react appropriately. Writing gave me relief from the dysfunction in my head. An even bigger surprise came when writing became my professional life, too. My greatest goal has been to tell stories on the screen, as my grandfather did. I'm still working on it, but I've certainly made a start. The other shock came when I started writing about recovery, and my articles on our website, Reach Out Recovery, reached millions of people all over the world. It turned out that my outlet of writing became a valuable voice in the recovery world, and I ended up doing the very thing I wanted to avoid. Then, after years of painful conflict with my mom, including a bitter 4-year separation in which we didn't see or speak to each other, writing helped repair our troubled relationship. Writing hasn't been easy for me, and I haven't reached all my goals. I often experience the same feelings of failure and worthlessness my mom experienced, but the recovery mission has given me purpose. The goal of my professional writing has been to help people, and that gives it meaning. When readers comment and let me know that I've connected with them, it makes the effort worthwhile. I feel privileged to be able to share my experience, strength, and hope, and I enjoy receiving comments about articles. Hearing that someone didn't pick up a drink or drug because I shared a little slice of hope always makes my day. Writing can lighten dark moods, help manage relationships, and be the vessel for all those things we wish we could tell people but shouldn't ever say out loud. It has been a means for accessing everything for me. I hope writing opens those doors for you too. Chapter 2: Leslie's Story and Lindsey's Story. Born at the end of World War II, I was not given an official name. My birth certificate reads Baby Girl Gordon. For years, there was some debate about what my name should be, and it changed depending on who was addressing me. Although Leslie was the name on all my school forms, no one called me Leslie. Further confusion often put me on the boys' gym list because in those days, Leslie was traditionally a boy's name. My mother called me Susie, the name my 3-year-old brother Stephen liked. My father began calling me Lucy after Peanuts was created in 1950 because I reminded him of a cartoon character that had strong opinions and gave unsolicited advice. He also called me girl child, and an ugly one. My dad believed that praising a girl and telling her she was cute or pretty would spoil her and make her into a difficult person. This was old school thinking. Being a difficult person was a curse for a girl designed to be unspoiled and humble, preferably a desirable wife for a good earner and solid citizen. Sound familiar? Many girls are still raised not to be troublesome or think too highly of themselves. From a privileged background, but not deserving of a life and choices of my own, I grew up thinking I was nobody. Not having a consistent name was only part of my confusion about who I really was. My family's history was murky, and that also created an unreliable definition. I was told my grandfather Julius Gordon was a Jewish scholar who emigrated from Scotland. I wore a Gordon plaid kilt throughout high school. In the course of my research, however, I found out that in fact my grandfather's parents came from England and somewhere in Russia before that. On an Illinois census form, his occupation was listed as clerk. Families have secrets, and few of us know the whole story of our parents' struggles and traumas. My dad grew up during World War I and started his career in the Great Depression. He had been a scholarship student at the University of Chicago and editor of the University of Chicago Law Review. Even with stellar academic credentials, however, he was barred from joining a prominent Chicago law firm because he was Jewish. Being a Jewish entrepreneur in the entertainment business, on the other hand, was a feature. Soon after I was born, my father reorganized United Artists in Los Angeles. He was employed at the finance company Walter Heller and traveled out to California from Chicago for a few weeks at a time to work with Charlie Chaplin, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., and Mary Pickford. He lived the Hollywood lifestyle at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and he loved it. He was ready to leave Chicago permanently and move to Los Angeles to become the president of United Artists. My dad never had the chance to run a movie studio. My mother, Eleanor Gordon, did not want to live in Los Angeles. She was interested in social issues, people who were making a difference in the world, and intellectual achievers. She was also keenly aware of the hazards of being a studio head's wife and refused to move to California under any circumstances. That left an opening for my father's close friend, Arthur Krim, to become the head of United Artists. I was 6 when my mom, dad, and brother Stephen left our big extended family, the new house my father had built in Glencoe on Lake Michigan, and my public school. We sailed to France on a French ocean liner with no plans of ever returning to Chicago. My mother, who didn't want to raise children in the rarefied air of Hollywood, looked east and chose the European way of life instead. We lived in Paris, where my brother got us kicked out of the American school in the first week. We drove around Europe, living in high-end hotels and visiting movie sets. I still remember everything about that magical time. A year later, we moved to a townhouse in New York City, where I was allowed to roller skate around the block to Lexington Avenue by myself. And my father set up his television business in the Seagram building. Movies were booming, TV was in its infancy, and the East Coast was the hub of finance, academia, social progress.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?